your KTAB forecast first.
You know the heavy coat you needed this morning? Keep it handy. You'll need it when you walk out the door in the morning. We'll be at or below freezing all across the area. Clear skies and light winds out of the north. At least we won't have to worry too much about a wind chill factor. Winds will pick up a bit. It'll be 5 to 15 miles an hour for most of the day. Bright sunshine will take us to the lower 50s by noon. We'll get to about 57 to nearly 59 degrees by tomorrow afternoon before we start cooling down once again. How about the weekend coming up? We'll get to that in just a bit. That's your forecast first. KTAB News at 10 starts now.
Proud to serve Abilene in the big country with coverage you can count on. This is KTAB News at 10.
Transitioning to life back at home can be challenging to those in uniform who serve overseas. We'll find out how one group of big country veterans is helping today's military men and women.
Plus, posing as veterans, KTAB's Ashley Gooden has a special report on a national issue and finds out it is impacting local veterans.
And former Governor Rick Perry is no longer facing criminal charges by the courts throughout the case. Good evening. Thank you for choosing KTAB News tonight. I'm Bob Bartlett.
And I'm Brittany Paulette. 22 military veterans commit suicide every day. That's statistics according to the Department of U.S. Veterans Affairs, and it is why one organization is hoping to help veterans right here in the big country.
It's not always easy to transition into civilian life. KTAB's Stacey Wormel talked with the Military Veteran Peer Network about how they can help those who have served. Stacey is here in the studio and has tonight's top story. Stacey?
Bob, the MVPN is staffed by people who have served themselves, and they feel like one-on-one peer interaction is a great way to not only help veterans, but their spouses and children as well.
Most of us, we come out of the military and we don't want mental health care.
Even though some service members know they need it, they don't want it.
Because in the military, it's a quick way out.
He says this causes many veterans to carry this burden into the civilian world.
One of them said, well, no one can fire me from retirement. That's why I'm getting help now.
Knowing this, several local veterans decided to start a peer group, which is now an official state-funded network.
It's not counseling. We just talk with one another and we tell our stories and we learn from each other and we get stronger.
Doc, along with his friend Pete, started this weekly peer group almost 6 years ago.
Years couldn't sleep, nightmares, having some real serious problems.
He's gained healing from a group he helped start.
After talking it out, the problems that I had, if I can talk to someone else like Doc, then these problems are minimized.
And with a job where you don't want to be the weakest link.
If you go get help, you're out of commission for a while. Well, that's the weakest link. Now someone else has to pick up your slack.
That's why the MVPN is
really trying to destigmatize mental health care
by showing someone they care.
Now, their peer group meets every Wednesday at 6 in their building located at 765 Orange Street in North Abilene, but that's not all they offer. They've now started a yoga class to help veterans relieve stress. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Stacey Wormel, KTAB News. Back to you guys.
All right, Stacey, thank you. While some are recovering from enemies abroad, others are fighting enemies here at home. Some veterans call them pretenders, some call them deceivers, and some just call them liars. It's the people who act as if they were on the battlefield or in the air flying missions during wartime.
But these are actually violators of the Stolen Valor Act, and there have been cases here in the big country. KTAB's Ashley Gooden has a special report through the eyes of real veterans.
We've struggled in hot, cold, day, night, no sleep, nothing to eat, those kinds of conditions, on, and that's how we've, made our finest military in the world. That's why we are what we are and why we can do the things we do.
These veterans all believe the same thing, that they worked hard, long days, hours, and years for their military careers.
I spent 24 years in service.
Aviation, helicopter crew chief, combat engineer, infantry, and construction equipment operator.
But there are actually people out there pretending to have been in the service, even going as far as to say they'd earned medals and honors.
It makes me feel like they're cheapening the medal. I mean, You know, if you can go down to Army surplus and buy you 2 or 3. You don't have to go to combat and earn them. You can just wear them and tell everybody.
Those people are the soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen that were never there. Some are even trying to gain money from it.
It's devastating to those of us who have earned it, and especially to those who didn't come home.
Would you believe it even happens right here in the big country? Not too often, but it does happen.
I've got some veterans in this area that really get upset when they expose one.
I can't stand it.
The Taylor County Veterans Service Office, in some cases when a loved one has died, has had people come in and attempt to claim military benefits.
I had one family in that the veteran had claimed that he was had served in Vietnam. Served with a combat unit, was wounded in all of these different things. Said that he ran, quote, black ops and couldn't talk about it because there would be no documentation on it. Well, when they start telling me that, I know that's wrong, because even in black ops there's documentation.
Not everyone can tell, but if you've served, you know the difference.
Retired colonel I'd never met, and he walked up, he knew everything was on my uniform, talked to me about it, asked me about the things, and we got to talking, and he said, yeah, you were there.
Even every year at veteran reunions like the Tet reunion, there are pretenders.
I had one year before last that showed up, he's wearing a green beret, and got to talking with him, and you know, you start asking questions they can't answer, and then you know that, hey, this guy's as phony as he can be.
So why do these people do what they do?
I think a lot of it is that they're not getting something in their life. They're not getting respect that they think that they should, and they kind of try to ride on the coattails of veterans.
Is his self-esteem so low that he has to create a lie to live by? It's all going to come out. You know, you can't live a lie forever.
It's freedom of speech to wear medals you didn't earn and illegal to try and gain money from it. But for these veterans, it's more than just a medal. It's a memory.
I hope to see that others who have served with me and gone before and after get to keep that honor and that respect that they've deserved.
In Abilene, Ashley Gooden, KTAB News.
All right, thank you, Ashley. The United States Department of Defense does have information available to help prevent cases of stolen valor.
Fundraising never stops for most volunteer fire departments, and Cross Plains VFD stopped by the KTAB studios to talk about its latest effort. The Cross Plains Volunteer Fire Department is still working on finishing its new station and has a dinner to help raise some cash. And in their last meeting, department members voted to place "In God We Trust" decals on their trucks. The stickers were installed last weekend.
We didn't do it to make a statement. We're not jumping on that bandwagon. The reason we did that is because we trust in God and we do believe in God.
Now, the fundraising dinner is this Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church in Cross Plains. By the way, Josh brought a little sample of the brisket. I'd recommend going there Saturday evening, 5 to 7.
All right, I missed out on that, but I'll take your word for it for sure.
Well, yeah, it kind of got around the newsroom. It didn't last long, I'll tell
I
you
bet
that.
it didn't. That's right. Go ahead and support a good cause and enjoy some barbecue.
Yeah.
Coming up on KTAB News at 10, former Texas Governor Rick Perry is now clear of criminal charges, while some are saying he received a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Sam is here with the forecast, and I was looking for both of you because I was going to
share,
deliver the brisket, but I couldn't find you either, Sam.
I didn't get any brisket. Brittany, you didn't get any brisket.
Nope.
I think we need to get Ashley to do a little investigative report on this story. But let's go directly to the weather before Bob gets in any more trouble as we take a look at our numbers back from today. Got up at 34 degrees this morning and got up to 60. It was really a nice day when the wind settled down. Tomorrow morning we're going to be even a little colder than that, so we'll get to those numbers after the break.
You're watching KTAB News at 10 with Bob Bartlett,
Brittany Paletz,
and Chief Meteorologist Sam Nichols.